Yo, what is up, guys? I wanted to do a quick car ride rant, and I want to just get straight to it. Uh, by the way, I know some of you guys don't like the the audio for these videos. I've listened to it. I don't think it's terrible, but I do understand. Uh, Obviously, there is what's called creme de la creme of audio and voice recording and things like that. But tough. At this point in time, YouTube consumption overall, by and large, I think we've gotten a little spoiled in what we're okay with and what we're not. But anyways, the car ride rant that I want to discuss today is having haters. And more specifically, the fact that you will always have haters, especially if you are somebody of quality, somebody of principles, somebody of morals, and specifically somebody with ambition who strives to go as far in life as possible. One thing that took me a long time to realize in life was the fact that just in general, people have a fallen nature. And therefore, because they are in a fallen state, when they see people who are exemplifying positive human characteristics that are God-given, their fallen nature, natural instinct is to see them and hate and disregard and bring down. That is just how it works. I know not everybody is a Christian, so I realize that maybe not all of you guys would see it that way. But irregardless, whether you think it's God-given or not, I think a lot of you would agree that there is a human nature. And I believe that the worst part of our human nature displays things like jealousy, narcissism, selfishness, wickedness, and things like that. And it's never become more evident than today, especially today and just by and large, when you live in a degenerate society. Now, I'm not trying to turn this into a degeneracy versus Christianity society video. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just illustrating a more broad point of the fallen state of human nature. And if you're honest with yourself, even if you are not one of these individuals that it lacks ambition, that doesn't want to ruffle anybody's feathers, that doesn't want to rock the boat, even if you're not one of those people, and specifically if you're a Christian, even the best of us sometimes are imperfect and allow some of these more negative characteristics to rise to the surface. I know, if I'm being honest with myself, yeah, I have been jealous at times of other people's success and abilities and God-given qualities. But I think the true sign of a healthy and, for the most part, morally good person is somebody who is able to catch, one, who doesn't do that often, where it's not their character, where they don't do it often enough to where it becomes literally their entire character, just who they are. But two, when you do it and you do have a weak moment, which we all do, you're able to catch yourself really quickly and say, you know what, that's ridiculous. I should not be jealous of this person's success. Just because they have success doesn't mean that I won't have success or even greater success. I always say I want people to make as much money as possible because I don't believe that just because somebody else makes a lot of money necessarily means that I won't make money. Now, obviously, if you get down to the nitty gritty, there is a finite amount of resources and capital and things like that. But by and large, that is true. So I want to give an anecdote. So I have always been somebody who has been extremely ambitious. When I was younger, specifically, it was with sports. I was very competitive in sports. As you guys well know, I ended up playing Division I water polo. And when I was younger, and also where I grew up, the district that I was in, I did not live by a ton of people that were either my age, and if they were my age, that went to the same school as me. So most of the people that went to the same school as me were not the same age as me. So I did not, when I was really, really young, I did not have a ton of social experiences on this. But I did eventually get it when I went to middle school, probably latter part of elementary school, definitely in middle school. And I do also want to admit that I was definitely a cocky fuck and did not know the finer points of, not bragging and shit like that. But I did learn very quickly what resentment was. And I did feel that. Now in high school, it got better because now also growing up, it was just me and my dad. And I was always more mature for my age. And because I spent so much time around my dad and people his age, and so I never was able to relate to people my age until I was in high school. And in high school, things started to balance out, and some of the things that I was interested in, the people around me started to be interested in. I started to find people with similar mindsets who wanted to be talented in sports or really, really good at sport, or whatever the case may be. And so things got better. I've experienced it that way. I've also been in management, and as a manager, I was in it very young. And where I worked, a lot of the people that I supervised were much, much older than I was. And I've shared in previous videos that particularly was difficult, especially when I had to terminate people, because growing up, I was always taught to respect my elders and defer to their wisdom and what they had to say and stuff like that. And so it was very difficult for me. But me being as young as I was, I definitely experienced resentment and jealousy towards what the confidence that I displayed in my ability to be a manager in the first place at the young age I was, and that other managers did not have to experience. It was very much unique to me. So now I don't want to go down these rabbit holes too much, but suffice it to say that some of the things that I have learned, and personally, I think I am a kind person. I try to be fair with everybody. I try to be respectful of everybody. I'm not perfect, but by and large, I try to do that. I try not to waste people's time. I try to be transparent with people. I try not to gossip about people. And I also have other social clues to suggest to myself that it's not like a just me situation. But in general, what I have found, and I've seen other videos on this, and I think that it sheds truth on this subject, or sheds light on this truth as well, that when you are somebody who has ambition, even if you're not one of these people, I think everybody has haters. But especially when you are somebody who is ambitious, if you're tall or if you're handsome and good looking, some of these qualities that people tend to resent, you are going to experience hate behind your back. And I know it is very difficult not to take it personally and not say to yourself, well, damn it, am I really that unlikable of a person? And by the way, I guarantee in this video there are going to be people who watch this video and say, yeah, you are. Yes, you definitely are, which is fair. But real talk, it is definitely difficult not to do that. But at the end of the day, I really believe that people are who they are, especially if you're an adult and you're watching this, and really having any introspection and thinking that you're going to be able to change, or even if you're willing to change for others, you're going about it the wrong way. Because ultimately, if you're so willing to do that, you're never going to be who you are, because you're constantly changing yourself with the wind of people's opinion on you. I remember I saw a video, it was like a few videos back to back on this subject, and there was somebody who said that it's necessary to be disliked if you want to accomplish anything in life. And in fact, that person welcomes it. And they gave the example that even the president, who is the president of the United States, has half the country who vehemently dislikes him. And that's a great point. It's very true. That's literally the president of the United States. And literally the other half that vehemently dislike him, theoretically, plus or minus, the other half that feel that way don't know anything about that person personally. Now, they may think that they do, but they don't. So the main point, though, with that is, if you want to accomplish anything, you have to embrace being disliked. And my experience in management, I definitely agree with that. If you want to be able to do your job, if you want to do it well, if you want to be successful, you have to be willing to disagree with people, to ruffle people's feathers. Now, do it respectfully, but you can't always toe the line. You can't always, never take risk or chances out of fear that you're going to be disliked. You just can't do it. And at the end of the day, guys, you're just going to have people that just don't dig your personality. All the stuff aside about success and non-success and things like that, and people having resentment towards success, just from a more broad scope, you're going to have people that your personality doesn't jive with, and your personality is not their cup of tea.